next we're going to be talking about Jeff Bezos. All right, now Bezos is suing NASA. All right, now I'm like, oh man, like he's suing him. Maybe it's because they basically didn't give him his wings when he went to space. Laughing to myself, like maybe that's why. It turns out that's not the reason why. But before I get into the lawsuit that he's pulling out, I want to bring it back to a couple articles from back in May. This is from Fox Business. Hawley and Sanders, two people you wouldn't think working together, decry a $10 billion bailout to Jeff Bezos tucked into a bill to rebuff China. This is what these people do. They make so many different things in one bill. You can't even understand what these bills are for. It's insane. Bills nowadays are like 1,000 different things all crammed in together. Things don't even have to do with anything else. They're just like all standalone, that should be standalone bills aren't. They're now into these huge lump mass packet of things. One of the things that I liked about Trump, he was trying to get rid of that. He was trying to be like, if you can't sit and read a bill in a day or in at least one day, it shouldn't be a bill. People should be able to read it and understand it, period. Awesome, right? Well, tucked into this bill, Jeff Bezos' company got a $10 billion bailout from the government. Why does this guy need a $10 billion bailout? It turns out they were giving him another chance to, essentially what they did was open up another avenue for two companies to be hired to make the Artemis moon lander. Why would we need two? I have no idea. It sounded like someone owed him a favor and opened up the government checkbook and said, all right, we'll let you have one of these contracts as well, which is absolutely bonkers because this is an article from literally the same day that this Fox Business News article came out. This article came out. Amazon buys MGM in a mega media deal. I think it's something like $8.45 billion. So the government bails out Bezos' one business for $10 billion, and then that his other business suddenly affords $8.45 billion to acquire MGM. What are we doing? What is the government doing with our money? I'm a taxpayer. I pay my taxes. I mean, our taxes are going to giving weapons to the Taliban now. I mean, giving money to billions of dollars to Jeff Bezos so he can be part of the space race that Elon Musk is clearly winning. What is happening? We should all be pissed. This is insane. So now he's suing NASA. Goodness sakes. This is from last week. Jeff Bezos sues NASA for awarding contracts to Elon Musk's SpaceX and not Blue Origin. Oh, Jeff Bezos, what are you going to do? Oh, you're going to sue. Right. Makes sense. Because, meritocracy doesn't exist anymore. Jeff Bezos has repeatedly expressed his dissatisfaction with the contracts awarded by the United States Space Agency, NASA, to Elon Musk's aerospace company, SpaceX. The news is that the owner of Blue Origin sued the U.S. government for alleged irregularities in the allocation of the project to manufacture the lunar lander for the Artemis moon program. Last Friday, August 13th, Jeff Bezos' company, Blue Origin, filed a lawsuit in the United States Court of Federal Claims questioning NASA's illegal and inappropriate assessment of the proposals submitted for the lunar program, Reuters reported. It is well known that two of the three richest men in the world have long been fighting a battle for the conquest of space. However, the competition began to escalate late April when NASA awarded SpaceX a $2.9 billion contract to build a lunar lander for the Artemis moon project, With this, Elon Musk's aerospace company won the opportunity against defense contractor Dynetics and Bezos' Blue Origin, which submitted a $5.9 billion proposal. This is because the United States Congress only allowed a contract to be made as a way to limit costs. Thinking that the agency would have bid for the cheapest offer, Bezos himself offered to cover up to $2 billion of the costs if NASA awarded his company the lunar landing contract. At the time, Bezos challenged the decision before the United States Federal Government Accountability Office argued that, quote, NASA has executed a flawed acquisition for the Human Landing System program and moved the goalposts at the last minute. In NASA's own words, it has made a high-risk selection, said a Blue spokesperson. Origin to Engadget. His decision eliminates competitive opportunities, significantly reduces the supply base, and not only delays but also jeopardizes America's return to the moon. Then, on July 30th, the Accountability Office denied Bezos' protest. Instead, he supported NASA's decision to choose a single vendor to build the lander instead, or the lunar lander. This in turn ratified SpaceX as the company chosen to join the mission to the moon. Of course, Jeff Bezos did not give up, and in a response, they published an infographic on the Blue Origin website criticizing the SpaceX proposal for its complexity and risks, while highlighting the facilities of their project to do the same, but of more efficiently, they argue. And here is that image right here. Blue Origin also released a statement titled, NASA's decision to eliminate competition from the Human Landing System is wrong for the United States, accusing the space agency of a flawed award to SpaceX and of allowing unfair competition. Man, this is all such a ridiculous notion because the competition was already had. It was 3 different companies competing for the contract, and SpaceX won the contract in fair competition. NASA chose SpaceX, and that means in the spirit of competition, Blue Origin lost and is just sitting here complaining about it. Gosh, it's annoying. Now, instead of just complaining online, the Amazon mogul took one more step in his quest. Let's remember that July 20th, Jeff Bezos successfully achieved his first manned trip to space with Blue Origin, and even Elon Musk subtly wished him luck. The Blue Origin lawsuit remains sealed, and NASA must present its response before October 12th. In the event that Jeff Bezos' lawsuit against the United States government proceeds, the legal lawsuit would affect the Artemis moon program until the allegation is resolved, and NASA could not give SpaceX the promised budget, which could delay the expected return of the humans to the moon. So it turns out Jeff Bezos is in fact now holding up our return to the moon. Of course. Right? Of course. Rich man's going to be rich and complain about the things that they're going to complain about. Let's take a look at this more closely here. Let's see. What immense complexity and heightened risks looks like for going back to the moon with SpaceX. Let's see. We got launch from a spaceport that does not exist, that is currently being built. I don't know, that is irrelevant because I don't know if you've been paying attention to Boca Chica. They are doing so much work and revamping that entire site. It's amazing. 12 days later, okay, let's see. Each moon landing requires 16 Starship and Super Heavy launches. Okay, so they slowly build up the entire thing in space. Unprecedented cryogenic fuel storage and transfer that won't be demonstrated until at least 2023. Okay, and then we got 2 Origin docking for crew transfer. Okay, lander is a modified second stage of the launch vehicle. Okay, the launch vehicle that has never flown to orbit and is still being designed with 32 booster engines taller than the Saturn V, 3 to 4 million pounds heavier than the Saturn V. The thing is a thing of beauty, though, I gotta say. Look, I've seen this thing. It's funny that they don't show their own comparisons. Like, okay, well, what would Blue Origin do in response to all of this? How would they handle it, huh? It doesn't show it here, but I'm kind of, I mean, there's a reason that NASA chose SpaceX, isn't it? Maybe it's because they've proven themselves over and over and over again. They've made rockets that are reusable. Okay, granted, the Blue Origin, actually, I don't even know if their booster lands itself. Does it? The Blue Origin lander? I know the lander itself. No, I don't even think Blue Origin does that. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look into it. But it's interesting because I'd like to see if they actually have the same kind of technology that SpaceX is doing, because SpaceX is making some incredible advances. I mean, the Dragon capsule landed itself on the International Space Station. It's amazing. All digital, freaking flat screens. The thing is beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. Anyway, I'm clearly a big fan of SpaceX.